Hello everyone and welcome back to the Breakworks. Today taking a look at Supreme Strait. And I'm excited to see this match. This is a viewer submitted match. And there were some interesting strategies that came with the description for this one, so I'm excited to see what goes down today. Spawning in our northeastern corner, we have our blue team leader, Down Under Thunder. We've seen this player here before. They've been in a few games, and always some fun strategies come out whenever they're playing, so I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing. Today they're going to be playing a backline position, so I'm really eager to see. Maybe we'll see some airplay, maybe we'll see some comm bombs, some drops, whatever it might be. I'm excited to see. I'm a rap god, in case you didn't know. Spawning in the southwestern corner for our red team leader, Deadlord. Now, Deadlord, that's an imposing name right there. It definitely sounds menacing, to say the least. Excited to see what Deadlord's going to bring out. This is a frontline supporting position here, so this is really interesting. Usually this position will tech up and get the frontliners their tech 2 if they need it. Sometimes that works. Sometimes they just go for tech 2 and start putting units out, and we wait for tech 2 from the backline. But either way, let's get this match underway. Take a look here. Looks like Vader Bolado has a little bit of a plan here. If this line and that air lab are any indication, we've definitely got something big on the mind here. Yeah, it looks like we're thinking about a comm drop, which is always fun. Definitely an interesting strategy. We've seen it before in another game. I can't remember exactly the name of that video, but we have seen it in another Supreme Straits video where somebody went for a similar comm drop. It was actually, I think it was 2 or 3 commanders all went for a comm drop on the enemy side. And the problem was actually that they didn't commit hard enough, which is, I know, it's surprising, right? Solar panels on the front line, that always worries me a little bit. Spell I don't know hiding back here, trying to conceal his windmills from me. But he doesn't know that I can tilt my camera like a madman. So indeed I will be able to find what he's up to. We're taking a little break here though. We're thinking maybe a bot lab, maybe a vehicle lab. Okay, we'll do a bot lab. Way back here. There we go. We've got it coming up on the front line. Candyman going to be going for that vehicle lab, so I think that's nice that at the very least we'll have that mixture of units. On this side, we have the same but opposite factions here. So we have a Cortex vehicle lab and an Armada bot lab. So that should be well worth their time here. We do have, we already have a Resbot out and about collecting. I would love to see this go towards the middle instead of eating up these trees right here. You can always eat these trees later, or maybe just use the commander or constructor to eat these trees. This metal, however, is going to go very quickly, and I would love to see it eaten up as quickly as absolutely possible here. I'm not sure where our widget has gone for displaying the metal circles here. Oh, I think it's because this is actually done on a different version of the game. Sometimes when these replays get outdated, it forces me to watch them in a different replay viewer for a different version of the game, and I think unfortunately that breaks some of the widgets. Let me see if maybe I have to enable it again. F11, there we go. I do have it. Yeah, it looks like it's not working. Probably a symptom of this being in a different viewer. Oh, there we go. Okay, just had to think for a minute. Alright, well, there we go. Glad that's up and working. But yeah, you can see 1.4k metal left over in this field of rocks here. Absolutely worth trying to get your grubby little mitts on as soon as you can, because that's enough metal to almost completely fund a tech transition, which would be really, really nice. Whoever can get that under control is going to be at a huge benefit here. I like to see this air constructor coming up while we're moving the commander across. That signals that we are not just committed to building over here, and then if it loses, we're out of the game. We are going to continue scaling, which is really nice. Especially if you're a backline player, you need to have some sort of redundancy here. But yeah, let's see what Vader Bolado can do here. Big brain moves. We'll see. What are we going to go for? Do we get a lab or radar? LLT. Okay. It's not bad. We are sending this unit. Oh, okay. I thought we were going to send this over to that island over there. I don't think we've been spotted yet. Yeah, no, we haven't been spotted. So right now we're looking pretty good. That is nice to see. Oh, the commander is going to get picked up here. No, maybe not. Okay, we're building a bot lab. I thought we were trying to move the commander here. I was thinking maybe we'd move the commander and take over this island over here. That's also a possibility. That's actually been a strategy that I've been working on. Maybe I'll show you guys a game. I pulled off the Nostradamus maneuver, but before that there was an interesting thing I thought of doing where I sent over a few amphibious anti-air bots over to different parts of the map here, so both the islands. And, or no, I think I sent it to this part here, the little geothermal plant and the island up there, and it actually ended up taking down, well, it ended up working out. I didn't actually catch if it took anything down, but certainly nothing was built over there for the enemy team. So I was pretty happy about that. It made me feel like it worked. Whether it did or not, I don't know. Bolato's construction factory, or construction lab rather, bot lab, is up and running. And we're going to start producing some pawns here. Interestingly enough, there's sort of this mountain range on top of this mountain range that hides this from radar presence. So actually this is a really nice position here. It is going to keep him out of line of sight from the green player here. Wow, both of these finished up anti-air turrets, and so both of them were shot down. Very odd trade there. Oh no, looks like this constructor did not get shot down. It's going to head back and help out back at home base. Yeah, we are committing here. It's good to see. We're starting up the construction turret. That's always nice. I'm trying to just check the naval progress here. Dark Green is doing a good job of getting a navy out and about. We are starting up destroyers. We're just going for that heavy destroyer play. We're going for assault frigates here for Ralphie Fun. Ralphie Fun was harassed just now and so is down severely on economy. So I'd love to see these metal extractors retaken at some point. What are we going to go for back here? Yeah, we're expanding our power grid. We're thinking about upgrading our production cycles back here. Very nicely done. Ralphie Fun, get res subs to steal enemy dead ships. That's a phenomenal idea, actually. That's a really important part of playing Navy here. Ralphie Fun, our tan player. Yeah, these Death Cavalry, they can be very powerful. You can just pick all these ships back up off the seafloor and suddenly your army looks tremendous. Although I suppose there's not really too much laying around out here. There are some ships here and there, though. And it is important that you get that metal as opposed to the enemy. Surprisingly little reclaim here in the middle of the map. I'm a little surprised about how passive we're being about this tremendous amount of metal just lying around. Interesting. We have a trapper out on the front lines used to build some fortifications. We don't see those all too often, but it is nice whenever they do come out. We have a big naval battle over here. So we've got a assault frigate versus two others. But two Cortex players here, so this is we got a mirror matchup. Going very heavy into the assault frigates. I'm worried for what's going to happen as soon as some submarines start to come out. Things are going to take a turn for the worst as soon as 2 or 3 submarine come out and suddenly these assault frigates are completely exposed. Middle of the map is starting to look like it's in green control more and more thoroughly here. We need to see these metal extractors taken, though, by somebody. Huge blunder to not take these metal extractors, especially this one back here. This is free. This one, I mean, more understandable. It's closer to the front line, but right now, whenever you can, you should try and have these metal extractors. Remember, these are worth quite a lot. 4.3 each. Those are almost a full economy. So if you could get 2 of these, you're up to 8 metal per second. That's more than enough to fund some of those more expensive bots, the maces, the thugs, T1 medium tanks, all that lovely, lovely stuff. We're working up pretty hard over here. We do have a coral being built. I mean, the coral's good, but it's not as good as 2 more destroyers. 480 metal for that? How much is a destroyer? I guess it's about half the cost of a destroyer. Still, We are severely lacking in metal production right now. Oh, and the pawns march out. Vader Bellotto has been hard at work. We've built a lot of light laser turrets up here, and we've got some pawns marching across the map. Yeah, this is going to be devastating to Green's economy here. We're going to have to transition all of our economy basically over to the water. Down Under Thunder says WTF. Everyone's freaking out, wondering what the hell just happened. How did all these pawns just arrive here? Pawns do find an air lab, and we are going to burst it down. Very nice. Very good to see. I would love to see them focus their fire, just dumb firing onto this here. That'd be really nice. Just to melt it down to slag so that it cannot be used again. Uba, or Alba, has been forced to use the commander to retreat here, but that does mean that these pawns are going to continue moving around and devastating the economy. Meanwhile, Cammy Whammy in a bit of trouble here. Pawns have entered the main facility. Choice words come out. A flaring of expressions. Can't blame them though. This is really frustrating. Suddenly there's 50 pawns in your base and you don't even understand where they came from. T2 production is going to go down here. And most of the economy is gone as well. In fact, all of the economy, save for a single advanced metal extractor, Cammy Whammy is forced to rebuild from the ashes of a once thriving civilization. Good on them, though, for starting up that production again. Just going to go right back into a T1 bot lab. Of course, you can build those res bots, get this T2 lab up and running, but it's really that energy production that went down that's a huge pain. Oh, we've got some infighting. We got some infighting forming here. A little bit of a skirmish happening, a word skirmish, if you will. Submarine's just taking a beating from that torpedo launcher. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, now that one's in the play. Okay. Well, this Coral took some heavy damage from those torpedoes, but it was not brought down. I think I'd love to see a bigger navy overall, as opposed to more defense. But Alba is now dealing with the repercussions of this. By not dealing with it at all. Actually, we're just being a passive player in this, and yeah, I think the attack here has been justified. Ooh, some more of these pawns sneak into the base. I thought we had a defender here. Did we not have a robot? Where's the robot? Oh, he went over here. Yeah, we had a gunslinger, but it had run away, and so now there was a pawn in the back line here, and it's going to find some of these energy converters, and we all know how much these explode nice and neatly. Oh wow, blue player actually rage quits. What a sore loser there. That player had more than enough to continue fighting, but decided to tap out. Really unfortunate. Not a great display for you on YouTube here, but maybe you can show us what you can do later on in the game here. Now this is really devastating. We also have these hounds pushing forward, so maybe that quit wasn't so early as I thought. These hounds have basically broken the entire front line here. We've taken out this light blue player that was holding the front line on the right hand side. They're pushing in towards the green player over here. Albo's commander goes down to what I believe was a bunch of ticks harassing it. And the hounds continue marching forward. We're down to 2 versus 8 here, as far as commanders go anyway. Destroyers trying their best to be menacing from a distance. For what it's worth, those destroyers definitely can be menacing from a distance, but you need way, way more of them. Now we have a bit of an army here, but this is a bunch of destroyers and assault frigates versus light gunboats. Light gunboats and assault frigates, so yeah, I think this army could stand for itself here. It'd have to take a pretty good fight. Maybe come in from an angle, minimize the attack pressure of the others here. Oh, some amphibious tanks have popped up. That's very nice. We've got some counterplay here. Yeah, this is really nice. This is actually going to do quite a lot of damage, I think. Yeah, we've already got some energy production down. Yeah, the T2 lab goes down. Definitely need to keep moving these tanks here. Oh, we're going to walk them right into the commander in a nice, neat line. It's a great time for a D-gun, if you got it. There we go. Ooh, another one? We're not going to. Okay, well, commander blows up. does more damage than those tanks ever could. Wipes away basically everything here, reduces the advanced bot lab to debris, which is really the biggest problem. Hot Pink also reduced to debris here. Or rather, their lab has just been shut down, not reduced to debris. But that's okay, because we don't really care about that anymore. Anyways, we were just mainly focused on... mainly focused on this. Dude, you're crazy, but also genius. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Cammy Whammy gonna try and rebuild the back line here. We have a bunch of snipers coming out. Unfortunate, because those are not really the unit that you're looking for to deal with a bunch of ticks flooding into your main base here, like we've got from Vader coming right up. The middle of the map is slowly stabilizing. We see a bunch of these Centurions, the walking light laser turrets pushing forward here. Ooh, a bunch of artillery shelling themselves on accident because of these forward pushes. Yeah, the middle of this map is slowly stabilizing here. Big naval battle over on this side. Bunch of ships going down. Yeah, I think yellow took a good fight here. Looks like blue is going to have to fall off. And a whole bunch of ships go down. This is a great time to get those death cavalry out, those resurrection submarines. Get those out in the water. Start rezzing these ships. Put them back into your navy. And then once you do that, you're now producing out of both the resurrections and your naval yard. You're going to be in a really, really nice spot. Now, Help is in a great spot because they've claimed all of these metal extractors all along the coast. They don't have the island, but they have all of these ones down here, which is really, really nice. So they're going to be able to put together a really menacing navy here. Indeed, they have a lot of destroyers, a lot of assault frigates. That's a very Gauss-heavy navy here, plasma-heavy navy. But it certainly can put out a whole lot of damage. We really want to play defensively here. We don't want to throw ships away. Every single ship is valuable in this scenario here. Looks like the the green player. So that's what was his name? Alba. Alba has decided to give up here. Vader Bellotto has held firm, and we're going to see all this green eventually crumble into mist. As they're now soulless, no commander. Big push over here. We've got a bunch of sprinters that ran through, took down a geothermal plant. Very nice. Very annoying. But very good moves coming out of our red player. Nothing but the best from our highest true skill player on the red team here. And can we get these windmills to chain react? Usually when they're two by two like this, you can't really get them to chain react. You need 3 of them in a row. Now this is more than happy to chain react here. Nice, we take down a whole lot of that build power right there. And the armies are marching forward. This is really nice too. We're reclaiming all these wreckages off the front lines. You can see 4,000 metal. Ever since I installed this widget to actually see the metal fields, my reclaiming has been much more on par. I've gotten so much better at it because you realize exactly how valuable all of that is, and you think in terms of like, okay, if I can claim all that metal, I can have an advantage here. I can do something. I can make more units. I can become stronger. Build him stronger than ever before. We've got more and more units coming out of the naval facilities here, but again, we need to see some death cavalry. If we're not going to build those resurrection submarines, yep, the enemy is going to build them right here, and this is going to be really, really devastating. We're going for the reclaim here. I think I'd like to see the resurrection here even more than the reclaim for this player, more than yellow here, because their production facility is way back here, so we can reinforce a whole hell of a lot quicker if we just resurrect these units off of the C4 here. That being said, it's not like the metal income is going to be bad for the economy. We're just going to be able to pump out ships a whole lot faster. And our reinforcements are going to come out a whole lot quicker. Felt a little redundant with that sentence, but you know what I'm talking about. So I think light blue is suddenly in a very nice position. Now, I don't know if Ralphie Fun has realized, but there is no contest for their C anymore. That player is disconnected from the game, so yeah, we're not really... There's not really any point to posturing all this navy right now. We really should just be building amphibious units, and at the very least destroying all of this. Sprinters run into the base here of Legion Commander, our purple player, who's not a Legion Commander, by the way, but is named Legion Commander. Important to distinguish, because we have been watching some of those Legion games recently. Sprinters take down the T2 facility, and suddenly purple is in a whole lot of trouble now. The whole red team is in a whole lot of trouble. These units are just flooding into the back rooms here. Oh, yep, those windmills start chain reacting. Blows up a big chunk of them. The rest of them are injured pretty badly, and these sprinters, they can really do quite a lot of damage if they're left unhindered. See, just one of them gets into the back line, but it's enough to do plenty of damage. We get the T2 constructor, that's very nice. Individual micro in these is pretty important. We're gonna go after the advanced metal extractor. It will go down, but very slowly. It's gonna take us a long time. One of these days. There we go. Finally it goes down. A bunch of these windmills chain react. This guy tries to desperately eat up this sprinter here, but it does not happen. Things are not looking good here for the red team, or for the blue team rather. Red team is looking phenomenal. We got another wave of sprinters coming out here. We're taking up to an APHIS. That's why we're slacking on units. I was wondering. I felt like we would have had many more units with the economy that we have, but yeah, it makes sense. Meanwhile, denying the economy of the enemy is just as good as building your own. Both are going to essentially have the same effect of you having more units. Now, wow, this is a tremendous army. We have not stopped production at all, which I really love to see. We've ramped up to advanced metal extractors. That's why our production is suddenly booming. Business is booming in the shipyards here. As, yeah, more and more of these destroyers come out. We're actually just only doing destroyers, which I think by Cortex is pretty viable. These destroyers can pack quite a punch from a really long way out, and yeah, a old destroyer. I mean, if you have an equal amount of destroyers to assault frigates, yeah, you're not gonna be you're gonna be feeling pretty good here. I think this fight is winnable for sure, especially if we concentrate our forces here. Yeah, take down one unit at a time, and we're gonna be in a really good spot. Yeah, we've already taken down 2 ships. We're aiming for more. There goes another one. Yeah, blue is suddenly in a whole lot of trouble. This is a menacing presence of destroyers. If we take it the total metal cost, whoops, not you guys. Metal cost of yellow's army is 16,000 metal versus the metal cost of blues is 8,000. So we're almost double. We're nearly double the metal cost here in army, and yeah, the navy, I guess I should say. Finally, Ralphie Fund decides to move out. I think it's about time. There was no resistance here. Ralphie Fund was probably wondering why there was nothing ever coming by their facilities over here, and yeah, it turns out it's because there was no naval player to contest any of this. We see some Webers brought to the front line. Really love to see that. These are excellent at reclaiming all that metal. They just paralyze whatever they see, and then they go eat it up, and it's a really nice time. Go stun this guy. You can't eat things alive too. It's always an option because they can continue to stun things while you eat them. I think if anything, that's exactly like, I mean, what embodies a spider, right? You trap them and then you just eat them alive. Absolutely brutal, but oh so realistic. And that's what we played this game for, right? It's realism. Because everyone knows, as soon in the far future, when the AIs have taken over and humanity is extinct, they're just going to be fighting over metal planets and waging infinite wars against each other. Or maybe this is a simulation. When I first saw this game, I imagined it was like a little sandbox toy. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, these are little tiny robots. But then you look at some of the structures, like the reclaimable structures, and the bots are 4 times the size of buildings. Like pawns are 4 times the size of buildings, and you're like, oh, I see. These are massive weapons of war that we're dealing with here. Sure am glad I'm a commander, not a puny human. Thank goodness. Yep, the naval facilities here are completely wiped off the map. No surprise there. I'm not sure why we're leaving this one building untouched here, but I guess it gets to be the survivor. I'm hearing naval conflict. There it is. Yeah, look at this massive battle here. So many of these destroyers, though. And this blue army is completely wiped off the map. Really well done by yellow, just holding out until that economy was strong enough to build a big enough army. And now we're there, and this army is absolutely unstoppable by anything coming out of a T1 lab. Short of total production. Yeah, indeed, the light blue player just decides to tap in. I don't blame him. I think that was probably a pretty good move. We have a nuke coming out. Where's that going? Well, that is one way to shut down that facility, but man, was it expensive and just so way too late. Yeah, if we could have nuked them, I don't know, 15 minutes ago? 5 minutes ago? Yeah, 5 minutes ago wouldn't have been unrealistic to get a nuke out. That definitely would have been a whole lot better, but unfortunately, not the case. And now you are the last player remaining on your team, and that is never a good thing. Shuriken here, just to add on top of the annoyance, right? Just making sure that there's one more thing. I'm going to be paralyzing some of these welders here. The man-portable Thors, if you will. The Odin sons. And all those welders go down seamlessly, very nicely done. We do have a huge march of them coming out here, though. That is quite nice. Oh, this guy gets to the back line. Snipers are luckily able to take care of it. Otherwise, a couple of shots on these advanced energy converters and this economy would have been devastated. Phew, very nice. Commander Explosion must have taken out most of these ships because we went from having tons and tons of them. What was it, 16,000 metal or so? Down to 2. So yeah, Commander Explosion can be quite devastating, especially in the naval field. Commander Explosion can actually completely destroy any of the flagships if you're right underneath them. I know because I've done it a few times. Saved my skin. That's a good thing to know. Turtle has made it to the main base, but we're not targeting the soft spots here. We're going right after the units. Oh, we finally see the production facilities, but just a second too late, and the welders managed to bring down the brave Turtle Warrior. It's like the Dragon Warrior, but amphibious. Go! We're resurrecting a lot of these units. That's really nice to see. Vader Bellado has now built a bot lab over here as well, so we are going to continue that T1 bot production, which is quite nice. What do we have in terms of anti-air over here? Nothing? I think nothing. I don't see anything immediately anyway. Yeah, so these Shuriken can be quite useful here. They can disable all of these LLTs, certainly. The snipers, those would be a great pick as well. They're gonna nuke us again, go. That's a good point. There is a nuke coming out. I'm not sure exactly where it was targeted, but certainly really good idea to be conscientious of that. The nuke will not be targeting over there. It will be headed... Where will it be headed? Well, that was interesting. I didn't expect there. I expected probably the back line, or maybe this facility over here, but yeah, I guess right in the middle of the map somewhere. Yeah, these Shuriken being really, really annoying. Paralyzing so many of these units. Suddenly all of your welders are completely useless. That being said, all those T2 bots as hounds were wiped away somewhere. Which is unfortunate to see, but we have more and more turtles rolling up the beaches here. And that is quite nice. There's another hound. Firing away here. Shuriken's keeping this army permanently paralyzed. Making sure that there's nothing they can do as the undead soldiers rush forward. Oh, don't lose our welder, our one welder and our one hound. Oh, they will go down. This is kind of a weird stalemate. There's not enough anti-air to stall all this. Wow, somehow that Shuriken caught a caught a plane. Okay, that's interesting. We don't see that very often, do we? More sprinters moving forward. Green is just barely hanging on by the skin of their teeth. I never liked that expression. It always sounded disgusting to me. Anyway, barely holding on here. The last production facility, the bot lab here, will go down shortly. The energy storages are in quite a bit of trouble as well. Energy production not looking great either. We're on windmill only, and that's never a perfect place to be. A spell I don't know, says Rip in the chat. I don't think he could be any more right about that. All these units are paralyzed as well. The green player there does decide to tap out. A spell I don't know taps out, and we are left with a single Single player, basically. Yeah, no, there's nothing else for any of these other players. Marauders are finally here, and I think that will be more than enough to push in this player. Oh, we do have a lot of snipers back here. We're gonna turtle to the very end. Why not? Well, as long as we're flooding in ticks, those snipers are going to be way too busy, and nothing is going to get done. Marauders doing a good job here of mopping up all the rest of these units, which is very nice to see. Always a good one. A whole lot of these sprinters running forward here. They do find a line of welders. And all of these snipers. We're just mass-producing snipers at this point. We actually can't even spend our money quick enough. All this build power and we can't even spend our money. Oh, that was dangerously close to a sniper misfiring and accidentally blowing up its own facility there. That would have been really bad. Marauders get stuck thinking about pushing forward over there. Alright, somebody end this. Put this poor person out of their misery. We have the nuclear launcher. That's quite nice. Sorry about that if you can hear other sounds in the background, by the way. We've got the nuclear launcher up and running. And, oh, don't you stall it. That'll be a problem. Yeah, it looks like we have the energy not to, so it will be a-okay. Yeah, just gonna be waiting a couple seconds here. I think this nuke will be all that it takes to end this game here. Meanwhile, Cammy Whammy has launched their own nuke, determined to fortify against this position here as much as possible. Another big force of tanks is moving up. These snipers are not spread out ideally, so they're not going to be able to fire, at least not all of them. We've got some light tanks, the incisors here, and then we've got the T2 tanks, the Tigers, which are much, much better. The incisors are great, though, because they do get that vision. Get that vision. That's what they say. Snipers are finally spread out a little bit. They're going to be much more effective that way. More and more is just leaning against this player, though. Ah, we have some seaplane bombers coming out here. The Dam Busters. We don't get to see these hardly ever. These are the ones that drop those huge clusters of mines, so I hope we get to see those come out, because these are absolutely epic. Not before we see a whole bunch of these sprinters break through, though. Look at those bombing runs. You drop one little cluster of bombs, but there's like 40 bombs in that cluster. And there it goes. The facility is blown apart. The nuke did not even need to be launched here. Yeah, didn't even have time to get charged. And that is all she wrote for the blue team. No more energy production. These snipers have been turned off. The welders have been turned off. Everything has been turned off. Production is down. Well, at this point, it's just a matter of playing Find the Commander. Always a thrilling game, I know. Look at that. His comm probably hiding here. They almost directly pinged it. I'm glad that we're all aware of exactly the strategies that these players go for here. This player definitely plays Terran, right? If they play StarCraft 2, they definitely play Terran, and once they've lost the game, they pick up all their structures and they queue them all the way around the map. Every corner of the map to float a structure away. And, yeah, they refuse to give up. There we go. Cammy Whammy finally decides to give in, and with that, the red team takes away the victory. Interestingly, the blue team took a lot of rewards, or a lot of the awards here. Ralphie fun, destroying enemy resource production. Very nice game, very good, very fun. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I get to see you in the next video.